Yeah. It ain't over till it's over. It ain't over till it's over. All my niggas with me, they be soldiers. Fighting to the end. Like an Indian. Break the fin and you den. Break the fin and you den. Again. It ain't over till it's over. All my niggas in the ends, they be soldiers. Talking shit and boasting. 40 clock is on me, it will hold you. Fast forward to another poster. I'm dunking on you niggas, Derrick Rosen. My bitches come in sashes like the Oceans. And they...
Yo, I got something to show y'all, man. I got a little something to show y'all. I've been putting some pieces together, man, and it just seemed like it's all adding up. And with this new program I got, I'll probably never make a video the same way again. So if y'all want me to go and start editing these videos crazy and make them how I used to, I'll do it for y'all, man. But until then, y'all about to get these broken down YouTube videos. You hear me? Alright, so check this out. This is an interview with this dude called Graham Hancock, and he pretty much exposing like the ancient histories that's been discovered all over the world, well, mainly in America, and it's being kicked under the rug because it changed the whole layout of history. You know, if this history comes out, this newfound history, if this comes out, these new discoveries, they gotta go and change the school books, the history books, and rewrite everything. And they have to change their whole, you know, their whole scheme, and they not trying to do that. So listen to this interview. I'm gonna be going and stopping, and tell me what y'all think, you know.
Released today in the U.S. Senate Armed Services Committee, holding a hearing on President Trump's potential Space Force tomorrow. It seems that for better or for worse, humanity is taking its first steps towards a future in space. But are some of the biggest mysteries facing our civilization today still to be found on Earth? A new book out now in the UK and released later this month in the US alleges that scientists and archaeologists have for decades overlooked more than 100,000 years of American prehistory that could reveal the secrets of our species' origin and shine a light on the true extent of American colonial genocide. The book is America Before the Key to Earth's Lost Civilization, and its best-selling author, Graham Hancock, joins me now. Graham, welcome back to Going Underground. I've got to ask you, we've been told for years that there's no point, really, from an archaeological perspective in talking about the Americas. Why is this book so big, America Before?
Well, you see, it was a long-held view. It's unfortunate to say this about something that defines itself as a science, but archaeology is very dogmatic. And it was a dogmatic view held for more than 50 years, from the 1960s right through until past 2010, that the first human beings to enter the Americas had come in about 13,400 years ago.
Across to Alaska.
Through Alaska, through the Bering then land bridge, and into North America, and then into South America. And this was a doctrine. It was called Clovis first. And actually...
All right, I want to break this down for y'all, because some of y'all might not know. You know, we have the so-called Native Americans, right? So Native Americans is really different from what you would call an American Indian. The Native Americans crossed over from the Bering Strait from Alaska and came all the way down and created these tools called... Let me show y'all. I can show y'all better than I can tell y'all. Created these tools or whatever. So, and that was like 12,000 years ago. So they find the stuff that's predating that. Hold on, I'm spelling that completely wrong. Y'all be with me. You know, so this pretty much what Clovis' point is. They found these tools, and they pretty much saying that these came from the Asian-looking Indians, you know. So dude pretty much bringing this up. So he's saying that's a doctrine, meaning that it ain't real. It's a script that they was feeding people for people to believe. Because the people that came over and made these tools or whatever, you know, they migrated to the Americas. But we been in the Americas. That's the difference. And he about to break that down and just pretty much shed light that people been in America longer than this 12,000-year-old Clovis point theory. Let me see if they got the age on her, because sometimes they'll tell you. Yeah, from roughly they say 13,000 to 12,000 or whatever. But let's see what he just found out in his book and what they call it his new discovery, Dogmatic.
Any archaeologist, and I can give you a number of examples like Jacques Cinq-Mars, who excavated Bluefish Caves in the Yukon, any archaeologist who came across a site where humans were older than 13,400 years was viciously attacked, like as though the archaeological community was a pack of hyenas. They just
see, look at him. He said if you go and you find anything that's older than what they didn't discover or than what the history book is saying, then they'll attack you. They'll call you an outcast. They say that your work ain't real. This is what's going on in a world of these scientists and these anthropologists. They finding out these new discoveries, man, and it's blowing their mind because the digger they deep, the darker it get. The more people look like us.
Is very dogmatic, and it was a dogmatic view held for more than 50 years, from the 1960s right through until past 2010, that the first human beings to enter the Americas had come in about 13,400 years ago.
Across to Alaska.
Through Alaska, through the Bering then land bridge, and into North America, and then into South America. And this was a doctrine. It was called Clovis first. And actually any archaeologist, and I can give you a number of examples like Jacques Cinq-Mars, who excavated Bluefish Caves in the Yukon, any archaeologist who came across a site where humans were older than 13,400 years was viciously attacked, like as though the archaeological community was a pack of hyenas. They just descended on these dissenting voices and utterly destroyed their careers and withdrew their research.
You say in the book, the editor of Nature, one of the premier scholastic magazines, characterized it as bullying and aggression against people who wanted to...
Exactly. Terrible bullying and aggression. And I often try to figure out why this is. And I think that maybe it is a natural human instinct to be territorial. And if your territory, your intellectual territory, is a particular idea about the past, you're going to tend to resist any ideas that contradict that. And if the stronger the ideas are, the stronger your resistance is going to be. And this, unfortunately, is the case, that for more than 50 years, evidence of humans in America much older than 13,400 years ago was simply dismissed. And anybody who attempted to...
Do you hear that? Any evidence that was older than the Bering Strait or Clovis Point, they dismissed it. Because it take away the theory of them Asian Indians being the original people. Because if they wasn't here first, or they not the original people of this land, then they not owed all this money and all this land, and all these reservations. They not owed none of that. They would be treated like regular immigrants that migrated here.
Human instinct to be territorial, and if your territory, your intellectual territory, is a particular idea about the past, you're going to tend to resist any ideas that contradict that. And if the stronger the ideas are, the stronger your resistance is going to be. And this, unfortunately, is the case, that for more than 50 years, evidence of humans in America much older than 13,400 years ago was simply dismissed, and anybody who attempted to go that way would not get research funding and would be ostracized by their colleagues and literally have their lives ruined. And this is most unfortunate, and it's not how science should proceed, because we now know that human beings have been in the Americas for tens of thousands of years before 13,400 years ago. In fact, the latest evidence puts them back more than 130,000 years in the Americas.
130,000 years. And if you look up Albert Perry, we go back farther than that. This African American from North Carolina named Albert Perry, his Y chromosome is like the oldest Y chromosome they ever seen. Like, it's older than the chromosome seen in Africa. So it predates the out of Africa theory. It's like blowing people's mind when they look into our DNA over here. But come on, let's get through this.
evidence of humans in America much older than 13,400 years ago was simply dismissed, and anybody who attempted to go that way would not get research funding and would be ostracized by their colleagues and literally have their lives ruined. And this is most unfortunate, and it's not how science should proceed, because we now know that human beings have been in the Americas for tens of thousands of years before 13,400 years ago. In fact, the latest evidence puts them back more than 130,000 years in the Americas. And what that says to me is, if they were saying before that humans didn't come until 13,400 years ago and nobody should look, nobody should dig deeper, now we know they were there 130,000 years ago. That's more than 100,000 years of the American story that has not been told entirely because of the dogmatism of archaeology. And now reluctantly they're having to accept, all of the institutions are accepting, well, we're sorry, we got it wrong. But it's not just a matter of getting...
They sorry, bro. We got it. Like, forget him being bullied, bro. They taking people land and killing and wiping them out, and now they placing themselves in the seat of the people who they just enslaved, and they become them people. And he's saying he getting bullied for bringing out the truth that the Americas is older than what people think. That the digger they deepen in America, the older that it gets. It predates the stuff that they finding over there in Africa and Europe. You know what I'm saying? And he getting pretty much put out of his profession because everybody's saying that it's dogmatic, that it's fake, because it can't go against the paradigm that their forefathers already set in front of them. But the truth could come to light regardless.
It wrong. It's a grave responsibility to be the profession that interprets the prehistory of humanity to the modern world, and it's a betrayal of that responsibility to be so dogmatic and to refuse to consider any possibility which doesn't fit with one's preconceived notions. And, you know, the net result is that we're left with 100,000 years of North American prehistory, which has been completely unstudied, and they're only now beginning to study it. And the evidence that's coming out, both in North America and South America, is absolutely stunning. All the old preconceptions are being...
Who benefited, though, apart from this professional class of archaeologists? And I know it's very multidisciplinary, this book, as you are saying, not just archaeology, genetics, biology.
Yes, but
the
new science in genetics is one of the things that's breaking the logjam, because genetic evidence is coming up which can't be explained by the pre-existing paradigm. For example, the pre-existing paradigm held that human beings had only entered America one way, that they'd come up through North Asia into Siberia, across the Bering Straits, which were then a land bridge, down through North America and on into South America. The problem that DNA has thrown up is that we have a very strong genetic relationship between Australasians, Aborigines and Melanesian people from Papua New Guinea, and certain tribes in the Amazon jungle. Now, if you could find that DNA foot...
Now look, he just dropped a bomb and people don't even know. Because if you know what the people from these Oceanic or Pacific islands look like, it'll blow your mind, because these people look more like us than what people say the Africans look like us. And that's what I was pretty much showing. I was showing earlier in the clip that we look just like these people from Australia, Papua New Guinea, everywhere, man. Fiji. You see it. Look at the phenotypes, look at the eyebrows, look at the nose, the mouth, man. This is a dude from America. This is a dude from Melanesia. Let me see. Can I slide over? Yeah, I can slide over. Let's go. This Lou, you know, and this a dude that kind of look like Lou G from Chicago. Almost same nose, eyebrows or whatever. Could be his cousin or something. Who knows, man? Long distance relatives. Who knows? Now look, this tripped me out right here, cause this dude looks just like KRS-One, bro. Look at the eyebrows. Look at the nose. Like, come on. These people look just like us, G. And this blew my mind too. You saw I zoomed in, cause this look like the same. This dude literally look like they came and grabbed him from a jungle, threw a hat on him, and put a gun in his hand. Literally, same dude, G. Same naga. I had to zoom in on this because I had to make sure. I was like, is I'm tweaking? I'm tripping? But look at this, bro. Like, I don't know. It ain't adding up because it's here. These people is a split image of us. This dude kind of like Easy. Like he be his big brother though. The same eyebrow, the same brow structure, and the same nose, man. Same everything almost. Let's look at a few more, man, before we go to this other video. I got more videos for y'all. George Foreman, dude from the Pacific Islands right here. Solomon Islands. You know, Solomon Islands, they grow blonde hair too. But you know, they mixed in a lot with the Europeans as well. That's why a strong percentage of the people from the Pacific Islands got like what they say Neanderthal DNA whole time. But we got some more. Look, check this out. Look at the eyes, bro. Look at the nose, the little beak nose. You will see these noses on the Aztec walls. Same mouth, same everything. These dudes can be brothers, definitely. The Philippines, this look like this can be her sister. This is like a younger picture of her. Same hair texture, same eyes, same nose, same mouth. What more do you need to see? And if you really, this not even excluding our African brothers, because Africa is aboriginals as well. Like, we need to stop all this beefing against amongst aboriginals on who the biggest and baddest aboriginals. If you are a aboriginal from Africa, be that. You can be the aboriginal from Africa. I'm the aboriginal of America. You hear me? Alright, here come another. You know, they talking about how the skulls is looking the same from the blacks in America and the blacks from Australia. This actually like one of my uncles. I will show you a picture, but I might get beat up. Look at this dude looking just like Eddie Murphy. Look like he could be his daddy or something. Same phenos, same phenotypes. Aboriginal Fiji. This is Aboriginal California. This actually Indian. Indian from California. This come from a newspaper. I think I got this newspaper as well. If y'all want it, I can post it. And these just the different types of races in the Pacific Islands and stuff. And look at this, man. And since they saying that they finding these people DNA in South America and throughout the Americas, right? They found that these people DNA. This is like somebody that I just seen at the liquor store the other day. So it's either one or the other. It's either they came to the Americas and populate the Americas and then the world, or like I think that the Americas, the Americans came from their homeland, which is the grandmother land, which is the entire Americas, north, south, central, and south, and we populated the whole world, started from the Pacific Islands and wrapped our way around. Yeah, I came across this article called Nature, published in 2015. I got a more updated article, but if you need it, I'll post that one as well. But pretty much it's talking about the genetic evidence for two founding populations of America. And when you hear two, you got to know what they talking about, because they only teach us that it's one. The people that came from Siberia through Alaska, and they say they populated America. But now scientists is finding bones that's looking like people that look like us, that look like, Negro, So here comes some of the credentials of the people that was doing this journal. Most of them from Harvard, if you look at it. Try to fly through these so we can get to the meat. So they been talking about this. People been knew. It's just that now people starting to read and pay attention. All right, check this out. Genetic studies have consistently indicated a single common origin of North American groups from Central and South America. However, some morphological studies have suggested a more complex picture. whereby the Northeast Asian affinities of present-day Native Americans, when they say present-day Native Americans, they talking about the Asian Indians, all right, of present-day Native Americans contrast with a distinctive morphology seen in some of their earliest American skeletons, which share traits with present-day Australians and indigenous groups in Australia and Melanesia and islands Southeast Asia. Here we analyze genome-wide data to show that some Amazonian Native Americans descend partly from a Native American finding population that carry ancestry more closely related to indigenous Australians, New Guineans, and Islanders. And we just went through those pictures, right? Them pictures look like Negro. And this is the new finding right now, because they find the people that look like us, and they don't look like the modern day Indians that they've been showing people this whole time. All right. So what I leave off at? Indigenous Australians, New Guineans, and Islanders. Then any present day Eurasian or Native Americans. This signature is not present to the same extent or at all in present day Northern or Central Americans or in the 12,600-year-old Clovis Association genome, suggesting a more diverse set of founding population of the Americas than previously accepted. So you got to change history now, because they telling you right now what they accepted at first, saying that the Clovis point is the oldest and was the way that these Asian Americans came to the Americas and populated. They finding things that's older than that or as old. You know what I'm saying? So the whole thing gonna have to change. The whole thing. Now look, these teepees that y'all see in North America, we wasn't living in no teepees, man. We had mausoleums and we had buildings and we had highways and road and everything already. Before the Europeans even came to America, we had trade routes that people that we use as highways and roads now. But the same thing that you see in these Native American customs is the same thing you will see in Siberia. It's pretty much what it's showing you. The teepee is from Siberia. You know what I'm saying? This is their culture. We can't copy that. This is their culture. This is not the American Indian culture or the American Aboriginal culture. It's theirs. The Eurasian Native American cultures. More. You know, some Hispanics looking just like the same Eurasians that's over there. The same phenotype like I just showed you with the black people. A Siberian man looking just like one of these Siberian natives from Brazil. And you gotta think too, these Siberians came over to America pretty much, and some mixed in with the original people, which is us. Some was enslaved by us, and majority of them made a treaty with the Europeans to take our heritage and pretty much overthrow us. They fought in the wars and everything. But check these out, like these the same people. Cambodians looking just like the Siberian Mayans. You know, I didn't even know I had this one. This just pretty much grouped and just showed you like how all the Philippines or the Mongols or the Eurasians pretty much came over here and dominated pretty much, you know. They came over here by the boatload, especially during the immigration period. That's why we got all these immigration laws to allow these immigrants to come to our land, so we won't outnumber them, but they'll outnumber us. Some more. You know, I can go on and on probably. It's another good picture. Eurasian. She looked just like a Native American because they the same people. How could you be native to America when you're from Eurasia? Like when you're from Siberia? Like you can't be native here then. But yeah. Oh man, I did something. Alright, let's get to another video. What else we got, man? I'm trying to be quick, man. I'm sorry that I'm long-winded.
Hi,
I ain't talked to
my
you
name
all
is
in a
Jeff
minute.
Clark, and today I want to show you something just a little bit crazy.
Pay the bills.
In just a moment.
This from Ab the Legend, G. This my boy right here, Ab the Legend, bro. Y'all check out his channel. Oh my, 39,000. You need to shout me out. 39,000 views. Y'all check my boy out. I'm gonna start. I don't know how true this statistic is. I can't even say the word, but I don't know how true that is. I had to look into it. You know, I don't really want to be telling y'all that I agree with something that I look into myself. Look at these people though. What afro? Do you see these type of afros and afro really though that grow this high out? I don't know about this.
Can she tell us who the first Americans were? Walter Neves is a physical anthropologist at Sao Paulo University in Brazil. He's been using a standard and reliable archaeological measure, the shape of the skull, to find out what race she belonged to.
91.
He fully expected Luzia to be a Mongoloid, an ancestor of the American Indians.
91.
But then he...
Y'all remember when I told y'all what a Mongoloid is? A Mongoloid, what the Native Americans is them slanted eyed Indian. So they found this old skeleton, and he expecting for this skeleton to be a Mongol, or you know what a modern day Indian, what people would call an Indian today. But check this out.
To be a Mongoloid, an ancestor of the American Indians.
91.
But then he fed the measurements into the computer.
When we start running the computer and seeing the results, it was amazing because we realized that the statistics, the quantitative analysis we were doing was not showing just people to be Mongoloid. In fact, the analysis was showing just people as anything except Mongoloid.
So who was Luzia? And where did she come from? To find out, the skull was taken to a hospital in Rio de Janeiro to begin the process of reconstructing her face. The first stage was to make a three-dimensional CAT scan of Luzia's skull in order to build a replica.
If they knew Luzia was black, they never would have spent all this money to have her skull, you know what I'm saying, remade, man. They thought this was going to be an Asian Indian.
The cast was then given to Richard Neve of the University of Manchester in England, one of the world's leading forensic artists, to recreate her features.
To me, is a Negroid face that has all the features you associate with a Negroid face.
I'm saying, like, it is a Negro, bro. Like, we all looking at this, G. Yeah, he can't believe it, though. Look at him. He can't believe it, but the cameras is rolling, man. It ain't nothing he can do right now.
That has all the features you associate with a Negroid face. The proportions of the face, it doesn't say anything about it being a Mongoloid.
Was this then the face of a first American?
Now watch they try to throw the out of Africa theory into this. But like I showed y'all in the beginning, we already found something that's older than her now. We found the stuff that's 100,000 years old. She only 12,000. And they said that the Indians looked at Asian 12,000 years ago. You remember Clovis Point, what we explained earlier? So they gonna try to throw in the out of Africa theory into this because they can't change their dynamics. They can't change their system, how they got stuff laid out. They can't rewrite history. That'd be too much rewriting.
Her reconstruction is confirmed by measurements Walter Nevis has taken of all his skulls.
The first reaction was not to believe in it. But as the results, repeated so many times, and the result is exactly the same thing. They are very similar to nowadays Aborigines and Africans, and no similarity at all with the Aborigines.
He cut it short, but yeah, there's no similarities at all with Mongols. So these is two completely different people. So stop looking for people in your family with chinky eyes, high cheekbones, and straight hair, because those is not the original people of this land. Those people was sitting here migrated here through the Bering Strait, you know what I'm saying? And they been here not that long ago. They say 12,000 years ago. If you want to ask me, I'm thinking 13. And especially if you're looking at Genghis Khan and how Genghis Khan was trying to fight the Americas and find Prester John. But that's a whole nother video, man. Let's get some more. Where should I start this at? I'm gonna start this from the beginning. I'm gonna bring this from the beginning. This is some more Lucy videos, pretty much telling everybody.
And the only
about
recordings
Lucy,
of show.
It's a big discovery.
Luzia was pretty much
ago.
like every other 20-year-old of her generation. She was fairly short, around 152 centimeters tall, and liked hanging out with her friends and snacking on fruit and nuts, all of which might seem pretty boring, except that Luzia died over 11,000 years ago. Her remains, which include her skull, pelvis, an arm bone, and a couple of leg bones, are the oldest human fossils in the Western Hemisphere. And about 2 weeks ago, they burned alongside some 20 million items in the Brazil National Museum when the main buildings caught fire. The museum had stood for 200 years before the blaze brought it to the ground on September 2nd. The fire started...
Now, when I first found out about Lucy, and everybody was too, everybody wants to go see this skeleton, the new replica of it, and they wanted to take samples of it from DNA. Why did they want to do that? Because they wanted to cross-examine them samples from Luzia and see if they actually would match with that so-called African Americans or the black people of America today. Now, if they would have been able to do that, to do the DNA test and seeing exactly who genetics matches hers or come close to it, they would have seen that black people or so-called black people ran the Americas or came from the Americas and started it before anybody else. But let's see what happened to this museum that was holding Luzia before anybody was able to do any type of research or historical data on it.
In the evening after the museum was closed, and thankfully none of the museum's staff were harmed. But the fire didn't spare countless priceless was closed, and thankfully brought it to the ground on September museum when the main buildings caught fire. The museum had stood for 200 years before the blaze brought it to the ground on September 2nd. The fire started in the evening after the museum was closed, and thankfully none of the museum's staff were harmed. But the fire didn't spare countless priceless and irreplaceable artifacts. Until authorities sort through the ash, we won't know exactly what is gone and what can be salvaged, but it's likely that Luzia's remains are among the treasures destroyed by the flames, which is not only a loss for the museum and the country of Brazil, but also for science. Radiocarbon estimates of charcoal found near her bones estimate that she's roughly between 11,200.
So these fools went and radiocarbon the charcoal around her bones, bro. And if you just look at a fire, bro, how could you even tell what has went where, bro, when it's down to charcoal and ashes? So they went and they can date the charcoal. So if you can date the charcoal, why didn't you date the bone when you hit the bone? Why is we going off the burnt residue of the bones now? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy to me how they can go and date the charcoal, but couldn't get the bones before they themselves burnt this museum down. Because I'm not believing that a fire just appeared out of nowhere. And there was no fire extinguisher and nowhere inside this museum. It used to be an old castle, but that's another story.
And 11,700 years old. That makes her about 2,000 years older than any other human fossils from the Americas. And it's not just her age that makes her special, it's also her face. You see, her oval cranium, pronounced chin, and projecting face kind of put a damper on the main theory of how the Americas were first populated. When Luzia was discovered in 1975, paleontologists thought our species arrived in the Americas via a single...
So, you already see right there. Luzia don't look nothing like the Asians, so they gonna try to put in a African theory to try to make it fit their agenda, pretty much. I got some more videos for y'all, but just for y'all that never heard of Luzia and the whole show that happened with the museum being burnt down with her bones inside of it. Let's look at that, you know. Let's look at that. You know, they got a whole report on it. And you could just see how they, like, usually, man, it's a fire. They can get that. They can put it out, maybe salvage something. They didn't save nothing, G. Everything is burned down, bro. Everything is burned down. Nothing. Let's see if they even got the fire. They got the fire on. Look at this fire, man. Now, do you think this is from bad wiring or this is from gasoline and a match? Look at this.
Massive fire engulfed Brazil's 200-year-old National Museum in Rio de Janeiro Sunday night, lighting up the sky with towering flames. Firefighters and museum workers raced to save historical relics from that fire. The museum that houses millions of Egyptian artifacts was closed at the time of the blaze. There are no reports of injuries, and investigators are still trying to figure out exactly how it started.
So if it was
Get
closed,
your daily election fix all for free. Stream now at peacocktv.com.
They think people don't know.
Is it Big Blue?
If it was closed, how in the hell did it get put on fire? Excuse my language. How, bro? Now that's not making sense to me. It's closed, but it got set on fire. What else we got?
Makes up around half of the entire.
Alright, so I grabbed this video just so y'all can see how big the Pacific Ocean is. Like, they said that it used to be a land in between the Pacific Ocean, and they also say it used to be a land between the Atlantic Ocean, like between the Americas and Africa. They said Atlantis land was there, and if you go on the other side between pretty much California and Asia, they said the land Mu was between there, and both lands got synced. So check this out, just so you can get an idea of how far people had to travel, or the people from South America had to travel to either populate, you know what I'm saying, the Pacific Islands, or the opposite way around.
Of the entirety of the Earth's surface. The Pacific Ocean is so vast and so empty. If you were to dig a tunnel into the ground straight through the center of the Earth in the Gulf of Thailand or the Gulf of Tonkin, two areas of the Pacific Ocean off the coast of Southeast Asia, when you came out of the other side of the Earth, you would technically still be in the Pacific Ocean, just off the...
The Earth not round. I'm sorry. That's stupid. Come on now. Are you serious? I'm not. Alright, I ain't getting into that. Come on.
Coast of South America. One thing that Hollywood movies do get right about the area is that there is almost nothing out there in the Pacific, since over 99% of the 64 million square miles is nothing but water. However, on the 1% of land area that does exist in the region lies populations so mysterious and...
Look at that hair, bro. Come on. These islands is in between the Pacific Ocean, G. Like, I guarantee you, I'm finna look this up now, but I guarantee you, bro, if you go and you look up these Pacific Islands and want to see a map, I bet you can island hop all the way from the Pacific Islands to Brazil, or from Brazil to these Pacific Islands, man. Because that's what they was doing in the Caribbeans anyway. They was island hopping because the islands was that close. Hold up, give me a second. Let me see, man. Come on, now. Come on. Let me get a better picture for y'all. But you telling me you can't island hop? Can I get a zoom? Let me get a zoom in on one of these, man. So look at this. You telling me you can't island hop? Hawaii right here. Hawaii is right here. So you telling me you can't go from this island to this island, or from down here in Brazil from here to here to here, and all the way and go all the way through here? Come on, man. Stop playing with me. Stop playing, man.
And incomprehensible to most of the world that even modern linguists haven't finished classifying all of the languages and people groups that are there.
They ain't even done classifying all the language. There's so many languages though.
Here, let me introduce you to the region of Oceania, and it is...
Alright, let's go somewhere else. I'm done with that one. Let's go somewhere else.
Welcome back to the News Knowledge.
Alright, man. Shout out this brother. I don't really know him. I just found some News Knowledge Life. 1,000 subscribers. Come on, man. Y'all need to be shouting me out. What? Yeah, he got 1,000 subscribers. I guess that's how I found him. Shit. Alright, so check this man now. He finna go into detail about Luzia. So y'all check him out. This gonna be the last video. And I'm gonna get out of here, man. Y'all check this out.
Wow. Look at that. We're going to read up on this here. Many anthropologists, including the forensic facial reconstruction expert Richard Naive, think that the features of this woman are similar to those of Negroid, indigenous Australians, and the Negritos of Southeast Asia. Accordingly to the anthropologist Walter Neves of the University of Sao Paulo, she is closest in similarity to the Australian Aboriginal people. He theorized that the predecessors of this woman lived in Southeast Asia for thousands of years after they migrated from Africa.
I told y'all it was coming. They gonna try to say that it's gonna start trying to connect this to an out of Africa theory, but it's not, bro. It's not. And I'm gonna show you. Hold up. I'm gonna go ahead and finish this, and I'm gonna show you the skeleton that they using to say that everybody came out of Africa right after this. Her name Lucy. This is Luzia, and the skeleton in Africa is called Lucy. We're gonna look at her after this. Watch.
See what I'm saying, family? We was all over the globe. Here's some more sculptures here in this museum, which this museum got burnt down, family, right after they found this woman, found out she was the oldest American and the oldest woman in Brazil, and so on. They burned this museum down with the artifacts in there. That tells you how evil-minded that these demons are, and they're finding out the truth every day. They can't stand it. They can't stand the truth. They finding out that we're all over the globe.
Everywhere.
They got archaeologists out here, family, that's digging up
digging up, and they can't find none of their people. But they're only...
That's a fact, bro. They digging deeper and deeper, and they can't find their people, G. Just like the out of Africa theory is not our existence, bro. It's like it's not how we came into existence. It's their existence. It's how they came into existence. We didn't evolve from no monkeys, bro. I'm trying to tell you. If you think you a monkey, man, go ahead and be a monkey. But yeah, it's insane.
With the artifacts in there, that tells you how evil-minded that these demons are, and they're finding out the truth every day. They can't stand it. They can't stand the truth. They finding out that we're all over the globe. They got archaeologists out here, family that's digging up, and they can't find none of their people. But they're only finding black us all over. And yes, they burnt. I just wanted to let y'all know that they have burnt this museum down with all of Luzia's artifacts in there. And I'm going to show you a clip of the video right here in this link here. We're going to go right to it so you guys can see how hateful-minded these demons are over the truth. And this is all about not finding their people. And they cannot find a one white person on this planet and say that they've been there longer than black us. So we're going to go here. And you know, what a coincidence, because they've only been here, these demons only been here for 6,000 years. I mean, for 6,000 years. And they're finding us for millions of years. I mean, 20,000, 60,000, millions of years. So if you're finding stuff that's 11,000 or 20,000 years old,
Clovis point.
You know, we've been here for millions of years. You know, they found Lucy over there in Africa in Ethiopia, as I just read to y'all.
Here we go.
And she is 3.2 million years old.
But she's a monkey. All right, I had enough.
But right now,
I had enough, because I mean, we all got some learning to do. Even I got learning to do, bro. But even he think that Lucy is us. And I gotta show y'all this, G, because it's gonna drive me crazy. Alright, I'm gonna show y'all, man. Everybody want to be from Africa. There you go. This is Lucy, G. There go Lucy right here. There you go. For all y'all that want to be from Africa, that want to be Lucy's, this is Lucy. This is how they say the Neanderthal look. Guess what a Neanderthal is? The same thing that Lucy is. Part animal, part human. Bro, this is not how we got here. This is some Charles Darwin evolution theory. And I probably can put, I'm going to do all the research for y'all today. Y'all know I can't spell, so forgive me. But look, it's already in here. Because people know this is a theory. This is a theory. This is not real. Because look, how could you evolve from all of these things and your original self is still here? Then you didn't evolve, bro. And not to mention, we don't see no more of these type of monkey men, cavemen, or whatever they want to call them, and we don't even see these type of people. So how did you evolve without and leave nothing else behind but your original self, but the first thing that you came from? Stop it, bro. If you want to be a monkey, be a monkey. I'm not gonna stop you from being a monkey. I'm not gonna do none of that. But it's obvious that it's some stuff shooken up, cause ain't nothing adding up, bro. I can show you rocks with dinosaurs on them, and they from America. You get what I'm saying? You know what? I know what I'm gonna show y'all. Let me show y'all this. All right, this is my last thing. I'm gonna get out of here. I said that last time, but I promise you this it, y'all. All right, so it's this book called "The American Indians in the Pacific." Now, this book was written by a biased person that he threw a lot of Mongols in here, but he threw some artifacts that was found in South America that pretty much shows you how the people look. Okay, here come some of them right here. You know, this was like a blonde haired dude pretty much getting thrown overboard, thrown off his ship. You know, some of this is pretty much old and faded away, but you can see what's going on. This one, you got a war going on. You know, these look like prisoners, and just look at the people, man. Like the people that's all prisoners or workers is all very light skinned people. Let me try to zoom in so you can see real quick. You see what's going on. They got their hands tied up behind their back. You know. This dude like a worker. Let me see what else I got. It's more pictures, man, but it's all I got. It's more pictures than this. Alright, let's see. Okay. This dude he been grabbed by the ponytail. You know what I'm saying? And he got his hands tied behind his back. And this is another blonde hair, you know what I'm saying, person. I don't know what it's about. Another one, bro, look like he been sacrificed, you know, by some dark skinned people. But let me see if I could read it. See if we can see it so we can see what they saying is going on. Yeah. Sacrifice of the light-skinned, light-haired. Yeah. You know what's going on. So this stuff is already here pre-Columbus. You know, somebody came and put it in a book, but this is the stuff that they found in the Americas. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta look what's going on. You see these people with the dark skin, and you see these people with the light skin. You know what I'm saying? And I know people will be like, well, you know, the people the original people painted themselves all kind of different colors, but who do you think they got it from? Why do you think? Boom, I'm glad I'm here. Let me pull this up because I'm glad I'm here. It's a good reason I'm here. Look at this. Why do you think we did this? This is our culture. The Indians from California was doing this. The same thing. This a dude from the Pacific Islands. It's obvious he black, and he painted himself black still. Why is people painting themselves the color of us? Now look at this. This the Aztec the Aztec walls, right? They painted themselves red and black. Now I got people that's telling me that their original color is white, that they just painted themselves to be black. When I can show you that these black people are still doing this today. In the islands. The ones that they saying share the same genetic DNA as us. They doing the same thing. And these bodybuilders, why do you think they paint themselves to be the color of us? You know what I'm saying? Because the gods is black, man. The gods was people with dark skin. So you pay homage to the gods by painting yourself their color. I'm trying to tell you, man. Look at them, bro. Red, paint red, and black, and black paint. Come on, man. Let me find some red paint for you. Boom. Red paint, right? Ain't this what we looking at? Now look at this. This is the Pacific Islands right here, right? And this is Quetzalcoatl, the Aztec, pretty much the Aztec god. And this is drawn on the walls in Mexico, right? Now look at this. Now people don't know the origin of blackface and what they get the blackface from and why they even do it. The people in the Pacific Island is still doing it. This is what the guy looked like in Mexico with the red lips. You know what I'm saying? The blackface. This is what the blackface come from. So when you see them doing that, man, yes, they are trying to make fun of us, but at the same time, this is the origin of it. Come on, it's nothing new under the sun, man. They still doing this in Europe. Painting. Oh, I'm so glad I came across this. Thank you, bro. Still painting themselves black. This is tradition, and we still do it over there in the islands, man. They still doing it over there. All right, man. So that's pretty much a wrap, man. I would like to thank everybody for tuning in to another episode of Brand New Flavor. And just remember, man, stay true to yourself, stay true to your family, and remember, it's always peace and love. Let me send y'all out with a banger.
Yeah. It ain't over till it's over. It ain't over till it's over. All my niggas with me, they be soldiers. Fighting till the end. Like an Indian. Break the fin and you den. Break the fin and you den. Again. It ain't over till it's over. All my niggas in the ends, they be soldiers. Talking shit and boasting. 40 clock is on me, it will hold you. Fast forward to another poster. I'm dunking on you niggas, Derrick Rosen. My bitches come in sets just like the oceans. And they both taking dick just like a Motrin. Oh, bow down, you see me, yo bitch know it's me. Throwing roses at feet like I was royalty. Blowing more than a chief, I be smoking no leaf.